Alright, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today we're going to do our daily Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner update. So I want to go through the Bitcoin miner big board and talk about what happened with the miners, and then let's take a look at what happened with Bitcoin. So let's start by looking at the big board. The trading day is over today. It's Thursday, the 26th, and the equity markets are closed in the US, so these are the final numbers. So you'll see other than Argo blockchain, which was down 0.17%, the rest of the entire board is green. So all green today. That is a nice change. A little bit of what I think is a recovery rally. It's way too soon to be calling this a bottom or a recovery, and that's what we're going to look at on the charts. There were a few of these miners that did very well. Most of them were up, reasonably well. Out of the big ones, CleanSpark was up 7% today. Marathon was up over 6% today. That is a big move for them. Riot was up 4.67%. Some of the other ones, Iris Energy was up 6.67%. A green day all the way around, which I think at this point everybody will take. So I'll give you just a second to look at the big board and see if there's any other miners that you're interested in. So, okay, this is Bitcoin on the 15-minute time frame. So I just want to show you what happened here because today feels like a relief rally. Pretty much everything was up today. However, if you take a look, you'll see that actually, technically, the way I do this, Bitcoin was actually down today. So as always, there's the yellow line here, which was where Bitcoin was when the equity markets closed yesterday. So Bitcoin was at $29,570 when the markets closed yesterday. And remember, yesterday we had a very red day. So you'll see on the 15-minute time frame, at 1 hour before the markets closed today, we were right exactly where we were at the close yesterday. So no movement at all. Lots of movement in the middle, but no movement from there. And then for the last hour of the day, we went down to this aqua line, which is actually where Bitcoin closed last Friday. So this is now 1 week later, and we're sitting between yesterday's close and last Friday's close. So this is very, very sideways action on Bitcoin. So I do want to also point out that we did have a scare a little bit this morning. Before the market opened, Bitcoin dipped all the way down to, on this chart, exactly $28,000. I did see it below $28,000 on some other charts. So that is a recent low. That's the first time we've gotten outside of this green line where it's at $28,600. And by the way, on the hourly time frame, our red line at 28.8 has held all the way through. So the market benefited from this rally off of this low, but really Bitcoin was not up today. We've been seeing a lot of the opposite where the miners were behaving much worse than Bitcoin. So today actually they behaved better than Bitcoin. So all in all, neither one of them are doing very well. Most of these Bitcoin miners are very near their 52-week low still. Bitcoin is still trading in a super tight range. I'm going to zoom out and just show you just how tight this range is. Okay, so this is Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame. So you're going to see this line goes back to last Friday when the market closed. So that's a week ago. And this goes all the way back to May 12th. So if you remember, May 12th, we flash crashed to this red line way down here at around $25,000. And we immediately came right back up to around 28.8, which is that line of support that has held. So you'll see on the 4-hour candle, that line held even through that flash crash down to 25. We continue to test this line, and it has held up like a champion, but there's only so much you can get out of a line of support. You can see this is very sideways activity. I have a few green lines up here. This green line goes all the way back to May 17th. So we have not been above this green line at $30,700 since May 17th. And then prior to that, we have another one at about $31,300. That was on May 15th. So we've been stuck under that and really inside of this $30,700 range for the better part of 10 days now. And you can see the top and the bottom of this range are very close together. On the 4-hour time frame, you'll see this line at 28.8 has held. So between 28.8 and 30,700, that's less than $2,000. We've just been zigzagging sideways, you'll see, and we're kind of getting to a point here where, this is 10 days worth of activity and nothing's going on. There does seem to be a little bit of a change in sentiment in the market, and I'm going to show you a couple of articles that demonstrate that. So this was yesterday. JP Morgan says Bitcoin has significant upside from here and could rise to $38,000. Now, so 38,000 is not like a boom, but for JP Morgan to kind of be calling a bottom here, that's definitely a positive sign. Now, obviously nobody knows when the bottom is. JP Morgan doesn't know any better than anybody else, but there are a lot of indicators. The reason that they put this out, there are a lot of indicators that are pointing that we are near the bottom. I do know this. The general sentiment within the Bitcoin mining community on YouTube and on my Discord channel, almost everybody at this point expects Bitcoin to hit a lower low, some type of short-term crash, and now I think we're reaching a majority of people that think we're moving into a Bitcoin winter, and it may be a year or years before Bitcoin recovers. That's not where I am at all on this. I think we're near the bottom. I've been saying for the last 3 weeks that we're at or near a bottom. Now, we seem to have gone completely sideways, so we're not off the bottom, and we could go lower. I'm not in the camp that says we're going into a crypto winter. I'm going to show you one more article real quick. Okay, this person is saying Bitcoin could reach $100,000 by next year. All last year it was about Bitcoin 100,000, right? When's it going to get to 100,000? It wasn't if, it was when. And ultimately, obviously, we topped out at 69,000 and we never got anywhere near 100,000 in 2021. And now the vast majority of people don't believe we're going to get there in 2022. A lot of people are starting to believe we're not going to get there in 2023. So this is from the president of a prominent macroeconomic research firm. I'm going to botch this pronunciation, but Lamoureux and Company. Their CEO has made some prescient predictions on crypto, not to mention on equities. He said the so-called winter for Bitcoin is over for now. So we're arguing about whether or not we're going into a winter, and this individual believes that it's over. So this is another person calling the bottom. So it says it's over for now with a forecast for the number one cryptocurrency to reach $100,000 by late 2023 in a run higher that could last up to the year 2025. So he says, I quote, "I'm not giving a major buy signal. I'm just saying, yes, you can start buying a little. Bitcoin meets much of the criteria to exit a bear market," he said. So I won't belabor that. This is one person and there's a million opinions out there. You know, there's some voices in the crowd now that are starting to see a bottom. And I know that most of you watching this probably strongly disagree with that. So I understand. Everybody's been beat up. These Bitcoins been beat up. The Bitcoin mining stocks have been beat up. Let me go show you why I think we're at or near a bottom. I do think we stand another chance at going down and retesting that $25,000 level. I'm not saying we're going to do that, but I think that it is certainly still on the table. We've retested 28.8 almost every day. It's ridiculous. So here's Bitcoin on the 1-day time frame, and this really lets you see these candles from here to here. This is 2 weeks worth of candles. I'm going to zoom in on these. This is our line of support at 28,800, this red line right here. So you'll see, yes, we're about 2 weeks into all these candles holding this line of support, but the thing is, we are floating right at the line of support. We have tested it many of these days, including today. We went well below it. Underneath that is the 1,000-day moving average, which has been a long-term line of support for Bitcoin. In the last 7 years, it has gone underneath this line twice, but each time it did, it stayed fairly close to the line and it signaled a bottom. In this morning's push down, we actually candle wicked below this. We got down to 28,000. So again, very sideways actions for 2 weeks in a row now. And the reason that concerns me is, so if you remember, we've been getting momentum on the daily RSI. It bottomed out. We kind of had a double bottom here on May 9th and then again on the 11th to 12th. So that was oversold territory, which we very rarely get to on the 1-day time frame with the Bitcoin RSI. So that seemed to be signaling a bottom. However, the RSI has now gone from 24 to 39, so it's moving up steadily, but Bitcoin is moving absolutely sideways. There is no upward momentum at all in Bitcoin over that period of time. So typically you would really like to see a push up. If we were going to have some kind of rebound, we would have already definitely liked to see it start moving in that direction. So that's one thing that's concerning me. The other thing is today's May 26th. We had a bullish crossover on May 20th. That is now 6 days ago. We are 100% completely sideways over the last 6 days, even though you can see we had a bullish crossover, and on the histogram, we continue to have larger and larger green candles, all of which would typically tend to indicate that Bitcoin is going up. So I would have expected some run up, and the first line that we're looking to run up to is $33,000, although now we are stuck. We can't even get to $30,600. So even in this giant run from here up to here, we've stayed in the exact same price range with Bitcoin. So this is some very sideways activity, which once again putting us in a situation where it's very difficult to figure out where it's going. So a lot of people have made predictions. A lot of people think they know where this is going. A lot of people have been extremely vocal that they're 100% sure we're going down from here. All I can say is that might be true, but at this point, looking at all the data, I'd call it a 50-50. And you see some prominent voices, including JP Morgan, saying we're kind of already at the bottom and upside is ahead. So I would not be surprised to retest some lower numbers. But again, I do think at a bare minimum, I do think we're bouncing along a bottom. And again, this is not financial advice. And, I don't know the future as just the same way none of these other people know where Bitcoin is going. So only time is going to tell. But try and use your own judgment and your own decision-making process. Just because all the voices are saying one thing doesn't mean it's right. Last year, every single Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner enthusiast was talking about Bitcoin 100,000. So, that was almost universal belief last year, and we never got anywhere near it. So sometimes when everybody agrees, that's the very time when maybe the opposite thing is going to happen. So again, that's no guarantee either. All I'm saying is we do seem to be in an absolute state of limbo. I would love to see a signal one way or the other, just so we would know how to trade this. I'm not going to go through the Bitcoin miners again. I'm not going to do any price predictions or targets because essentially this was a nice green day. Everything rebounded off of what was for a lot of these miners their 52-week low yesterday. In fact, a few of them opened this morning in the red and hit their 52-week low today and then rebounded because as you can see, most of the board ended up in the green. But they're all very near their 52-week lows. In my opinion, they're all very oversold. However, that doesn't mean they can't go down more. We've seen stocks 80% go down another 50% in this market. So there's no telling where the bottom is. So again, please be careful with Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. I do think there's massive opportunity going forward, but it's also incredibly volatile. So use your best judgment, be careful, do your own due diligence. Thanks so much for sticking around. If you made it this far, please remember to subscribe to the channel and smash the like button. So I will see you in the next video.